The government of Venezuela has characterized the United States' action as a military aggression carried out in civilian and military areas and as a flagrant violation of the Charter, posing a threat to international and regional peace and security. As we speak, President Maduro is being held in New York, accused by U.S. authorities, along with his wife, Celia Flores, of serious criminal offenses. What is less certain is the immediate future of Venezuela. I am deeply concerned about the possible intensification of the instability in the country, the potential impact on the region, and the precedent it may set for how relations between and among states. I remain deeply concerned that rules of international law have not been respected with regard to the 3 January military action. The Charter enshrines the prohibition of the threat or use of force against the territorial integrity or political independence of any state.
World leaders, aside from crucial U.S. allies, are absolutely terrified by what happened in Venezuela because it took the United States 30 minutes to go in there and capture President Maduro. So I was wrong in my earlier post. It didn't take the United States less than 24 hours to take down the Venezuelan regime. It took less than 1 hour. And the United States managed to accomplish this with no loss of American life or American equipment. And our president just made a video trolling President Maduro and what the United States did, which I will show at the end of this post. And the United States was able to do this against a country that was 1,800 miles away and had plenty of time to prepare. The United States was telegraphing everything they were doing, of course, aside from covert operations and intelligence gathering, and then they just finally decided now was the time. Unlike Russia, who was amassing hundreds of thousands of troops along the Ukrainian border, all the time saying, no, we will not invade, okay, here we come. And the Venezuelans had a great deal of Russian military equipment and Chinese military equipment that were completely blown to smithereens by U.S. military gear. Once again, this is the third country that heavily relied on Russian air defense systems that got completely obliterated by American aircraft. The capture of Nicolas Maduro was the United States saying, hey, Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, Ayatollah Khamenei, Kim Jong-un, we could do the same to you if we deemed it necessary, and there's nothing you could really do about it. I'm hearing a lot of people who just have too much TDS going on in their head to realize that we haven't emboldened China to take Taiwan or emboldened Russia to try to take more of Ukraine. We have scared the living crap out of them because if they really do overstep their bounds, America has a crazy enough president to do crazy ass stuff like we just saw. I am going to show you a post from our president trolling Venezuela in about 30 to 40 seconds, but I have more to say. If Joseph Biden was in office right now, you would have Republicans screaming across the board that we should not be declaring war on Venezuela, but because we have this president, the Democrats are echoing this. But in defense of the Democrats, they would express more dissent and they would be less afraid of consequences from President Biden. When it comes to emboldening Russia to take more territory, they are barely able to move a square mile or a square kilometer a month in Ukraine. And China has already been preparing for situations of a Russian collapse. When it comes to emboldening China to take Taiwan, one of the U.S.'s crucial allies, Japan, said that if China tries that, Japan will clearly intervene, and the United States will not be far behind, helping Japan, helping Taiwan. China is already going through a host of natural disasters and economic turmoil, and if the United States really wants to turn up the sanction juice on China for invading Taiwan, that's exactly what they could do, and most of the world will comply with it. Now, all of that being said, I want to remind everyone, I was not a fan of the United States invading Venezuela. I don't think we needed to do it. But once the U.S. started deploying its vast personnel out there, they had no choice but to poop or get off the pot. And if they didn't poop, they would have looked weak. They backed themselves into a corner that they could not retreat from. Now, without further ado, watch this trolling post from our president about Venezuela.
Venga por mí! Aquí no esperan Miraflores! No se tarden en llegar! Cobarde!
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America.